All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dowell here. I want to let the whole world in on and let the whole world know. Um, and mind you, this is still coming from our perspective, but I believe our perspective is right. I was talking to Brother McNabb the other day, and mind you, they're recently just moved into this area from Texas, as well as a few other people that's recently moved into this area from Texas, and they're melanated people, meaning they have a hue to their skin. And of course, this town sometimes try to convince people that there's no racism that's going on up here and all this other stuff, which you just have to live here to see it. And myself and Kabir and Brother TJ, we went and walked some land down in Waverly, Tennessee, and we went to one of their breakfast diners as well. And of course, when we walked in, they was like, "What is that?" And I said, "You just have to have a spirit to where you own the room." They said, "Is this normal?" I said, "This is the South." Hey, this is the South. I said, "But racism is personal to them because it don't mean a damn thing to me. Because whatever racist that they are, they're not going to do a damn thing about it. And if they do, then we'll be willing to test that boast." But as many people is trying to tell you that racism is dead and there's no such thing as racism, they're flat out liars. Because, the one thing about a lot of people who are Caucasians is that they don't live in our skin. They don't see things from our perspective, and they're blinded by their view. But anyway, McNabb and his wife had moved up here, and he was waving at this neighbor, and this neighbor would just look at him and then just, like almost growl at him or something. And he just said, "Okay," I just shook it off, and he was sitting out the street. I think he was going to the mailbox, and he waved his hand at the man again. He was coming back from fishing. He looks at him, So McNabb walked up to him and said, "Man, what's the problem?" Mind you, they come from Houston, Texas and stuff, and all that stuff is not like that down there. There's a diversity of cultures and a diversity of people. So anyway, the guy says, "Now watch this. This is the first thing come out of his mouth." He says, "I don't like your religion." Now wait a minute. I usually have there it is right here. I usually have a book right here, according to this country right here. Constitution, because everybody seems to have a problem with Straitway. Yet and still, you know me. I'm a pastor. I'm a man that I vigorously invite people to debate your cause with me, especially in this little small town I live in. Because Lafayette, y'all racist, period. And see, well, I'm just not stupid, because you see, if you don't know the sentiments of the people of this particular township, then you'll get taken by the hypocrisy and you'll end up getting used. But these people are flat out straight up racist, but they cowardly racist. They'll drive down the road and turn around and break their damn neck and screech off and everything and stuff like this, and damn near run into trees trying to escape. Escape what? You're the one that's coming down here perpetuating all these evils and stuff. So anyway, they said, "Hey," he said, "I don't like your religion." And I said, "Okay, all right." I said, "I want you, I'm doing this video for educational purposes, all right? Look what the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America says. It says, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress and grievance." That's what it says. This right here, right? But upon careful investigation, it's amazing how everybody in this world, let's say America, they have the so-called right to worship whatever they want and the freedom and liberty. But all of a sudden, when you get somebody like Straitway, who keeps the commandments, Straitway, who is constantly lied and slandered and defamed and falsified information over and over again. It's amazing that when we choose to do what the Bible says, and see, and that's the problem right there. And that's the reason why that the system of the day put Jesus to death. Because he came to do his Father's will, but he just wasn't talking about it. See, that's what Christianity does. Christianity does a lot of talking, but they don't do a lot of living. And mind you, this man is supposed to be a Christian. And according to Christian tenets, you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. But let me throw an addendum in there. Love your neighbor as yourself as long as he ain't black. See what I mean? See the hypocrisy in it? Mind you, our brother tried to go be friendly with this man, but he says, I don't like your religion. And mind you, after further along in their conversation, this white man is a Catholic. Now, you all know just as well as I do, there's not another religion on the face of planet Earth more false than Catholicism. They worship women, Mary. They don't keep the commandments. Are you following me? And they very system admits that they changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. You can't get no more antichrist than that. And they worship the Pope as the vicar of Christ. I be damned. Isn't that amazing? Mind you, you're going to point fingers at what you call our religion, and you don't like it just because you don't like it because we're not a bunch of idolatrous Catholics. No, you're not going to come to none of our assemblies, and you're not going to be tripping over idols, tripping over bishops and Marys and popes and everything else just trying to get to the altar. Then he said, he just let it all out. He said, I don't like the way y'all women dress. I spent 10 years in Iraq. 10 years in Iraq. And I had to deal with that mess. He says, well, my pastor's a 10-year veteran. Well, I retired 25 years. Now, see what I mean? Now, watch this. So now, not only is he a racist, but he's a racist that spent 25 years in the military. He said, I don't like the way y'all women cover their heads. First of all, what business is it of yours the way our women cover your head? Maybe your nasty ass woman need to cover her unwashed head. But then the brother proceed on to say, what are you talking about? He said, y'all live under that Old Testament. He said, no, we live under the book. As a matter of fact, if you want to call it New Testament, all you got to do is go over and read 1 Corinthians 11, and it tells you what your women should be doing. They should be covering their head. No, because he don't know the Bible. All he know is Mother Mary, Holy Mother of Yah, and all this old stuff, pray for us, and all this other crap. That's all he knows. So he's venting all these things that he don't allegedly so-called like about us. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Mind you, the brother's done nothing to him. Try to be friendly to him. You see what I mean? And that's now you see the reason why Pastor Dowell teaches the way I teach. And by the way, I know y'all watching this video. And why don't you, neighbors, set up a time to come and talk to me? I'll make time and room for you. And I guarantee you won't like my speech and my dialogue. I promise you that. And that goes for any of you up here in Lafayette, Tennessee. But you know, see, this is the sickness that goes on amongst people and the hypocrisy that rides out today. So everybody else has a freedom to worship idols, stones, crosses, Sunday, Easter egg, rabbit laying eggs, and a big fat Norris, Odin, Santa Claus, and all this other stuff, and it's fine. But as soon as we come obeying the commandments and doing exactly what Jesus says, all of a sudden we the problem. No, you the problem. You are the systemic problem with your demonic mindsets. And I'm putting this video out here to let you all know. And that's the reason why all your preachers, they love talking about us behind the scenes. They're all cowards. Because none of them have an open dialogue. I would love to be able to have an open town hall dialogue. Just me against all y'all preachers up in Lafayette, Tennessee. Against every single one of you. Huh? I know I'm not there to win nobody. Only Yeshua, Jesus of Christ, can win people's souls. I'm there to put the truth smack in your face so you can see how far off the path y'all are. If anybody religion is defiled, it's yours. And it always has been. So you have a white man that says he's a Christian, that don't love his neighbor, that hates black people, and hate the way our women dress, and we're supposed to be the problem. What kind of sense does that make? In any way, shape, fashion, form. But see, that's not only that. I mean, it happens in Indiana. It happens in Wisconsin. You know, Brother Kabir, he found out them people don't love Kabir. Them Christians love Kabir money. You got Rob Mathis and Daniel Muir up there in Indiana. Man, them people don't love them. They just love what they can possibly do for them. You don't believe. And now we got Sports Illustrated, that failed magazine. They supposed to be about sports, and the only thing they are interested in is attacking Straitway. Now, we got to be doing something right. But you think about that. And I don't mind it. Because, see, you would not believe how many people have come to this ministry after doing their own due diligence and their own investigation. You know, you've got low-base-minded people that can't think. They'll hear something from somebody, and they will get in their emotions and their feelings, and they'll run with them things. They'll run with them from here to kingdom come. Get all mad and offended. Hear one side of the story. Makes no difference that the book says out of the mouth of two or more witnesses. Now, what is a witness now? Now, anytime you have judgment of witness, the witness should be able to, in front of everybody, not behind these cameras, in front of everybody, be able to answer. But see, people don't want that today. They want to be able to slander, defame, falsify information. I told you, when somebody is putting forth a finger on you, that's because the majority of the people who are uninformed and unintelligent, they'll run with it because they're looking at what's being said about that person, but they don't pay attention to the hypocrisy of the one that's doing the speaking. It's the art of deflection and accusation. I told you, accusation could be true or false. It's just the fact it's an accusation. So anyway, you got these people right here that flat out these racists and stuff. And of course, my advice to McNabb was, I said, brother, that man has let you know that you are his enemy. Now, you don't have an enemy, but he's your enemy. And from this point on, you don't say another damn word to him, and you treat him as an enemy. And as long as he stay in his lane, he can look, he can sigh, he can howl to the damn moon. But if he ever crosses the line and he does something in any way, shape, fashion, form that will threaten your person or your wives while you over there, or your wife person, then you come down on his ass like a 2-ton damn heavy stick, and you make sure you leave a signature that will send a message and that will resonate throughout this whole damn town. You hit hard and let it come with a serious impact. See what I mean? See, remember, it was the good Christians that came over here, sat down and had peace pipe with people and Thanksgiving dinner, and then turn around and rose up and slaughtered the people that they just got finished eating their food. And the people over here was teaching the pilgrims how to plant. Now, the old chief was telling folks, listen, you don't fool around these people, but you always, what was the fall of the indigenous Wankapanka tribe or the Indians over here? A woman. A woman went over to befriend the settlers. That's what they call them, settlers. But the illegal immigrants that came over here, and it cost them all their lives. Most people don't know the true story of Pocahontas. Now, you know what the fairy tales is, just like you can read that Bible, and you won't see no damn Odin Santa Claus in there. You won't see nothing. There's no instruction for Christmas, no instruction for Easter, and there's not one damn instruction for Sunday, but you don't give a shit. You don't give a damn. And then you want to sit up there and talk about how that you don't like the way I talk. Well, we had a dilemma because you're the one that's doing lies. I don't like the way you listen. So ask me if I care. But some intelligent people, they listen to all of this. They do their own due diligence and investigation. They end up coming here, they check it out for themselves, and they end up becoming part of Straitway. Isn't that beautiful? I'm talking about intelligent people. See, I'm not worried about. See, we got a lot of people in this ministry. We got doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers, we have educators, we have professionals. And these people end up buying lands, starting communities because they know the message is right. It's spot on. We live the book. But Israel, I want y'all to understand something. When somebody shows themselves unfriendly to you, let that be a mark and a sign. Don't you dare try to reach your arm out across the aisle and try to befriend someone that has already made you an enemy at heart. Don't be a damn fool. They have already made themselves known. They already made themselves known. You be wise and know what the hell you dealing with, because these will be the same damn people when the proverbial crap hit the fans, that they'll be the ones that come and try to take you out. But you know what? We're going to be one step ahead of that, I promise you. That I promise you, because they got a pastor that teaches them the right way and the spiritual wickedness of mankind. Sure do. What do you think about that? You just newly move up in the area and trying to be neighborly and trying to be friendly, and you're greeted with all this malice. You're greeted with all this anger and this hostility and this hatred. And you reach out 2 or 3 times, and no matter what, that's all that's returned to you. Isn't that amazing? No. I'm not going to be a fool, and I don't teach the people to be a fool either. Cross our path one good time, and I'm going to show you what an enemy is. And show you exactly what an enemy is. Now, let me end this video and bring clarity. When the Bible says love your enemies, listen to this. It's talking about, mind you, the book is a history book of Israel. It's not telling you love all your enemies in the whole world, because if that's the case, has America loved its enemies? Did they love Saddam Hussein? Did they love Omar Gaddafi? Do they love Putin? You hear me? Did the people that the illegal immigrants that came over here from Europe, did they love the Indians? Now, if that is love, then you show and you define for me what hate is, because I know the difference between love and hate. No, we have enemies, and if you read the history of Israel, that's the reason why Israel had to fight against the Philistines, the Moabites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Prebusites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites, and the Egyptians. There's a reason why. And then what happened in the time of Christ? The Romans was in charge, and the Romans was the one that put him to the death. But how did they put him to death? At the envy and slander of the Jewish people. See, Pilate wrote up there, King of the Jews. And the Jewish people slandered and defamed him, all because he checked them openly and publicly and shamed them. Jesus did. It's a book of war. Y'all people got to understand this. And remind you, this is the same God that came down on Mount Sinai. But this time he came as a lowly lamb. The lamb of y'all to be sacrificed. But when he come back again, y'all, that's the part y'all missing. He coming back as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And the bloodletting is going to be unreal. In other words, this Jesus, there's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. This Jesus that you think you know, he going to come back and he going to slaughter and he's going to kill millions of people. And so much so to the point that the blood is going to be up to the horse's bridle. A sea of blood, a river of blood. He's going to kill all those that hate him and have not the knowledge of Yah and keep his commandments. You watch and see. It's coming just as sure as a day is long. That's why religion is so powerful. See, most of you don't comprehend and understand Pastor Dowell or Straitway because you're not students of the book. You go to church and you sit down and get soaked up with religion and what they tell you. But if you pick up that book and start reading it, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And you're going to find out that Straitway, Pastor Dowell, has always been on the right side of history, and everybody else has been on the wrong. And that's the truth, and that's the true straight way.